Hello, this is John, host of the Prepared Mind channel. You're going to love this video. I want to thank everyone before we get started and roll into this too much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, click that subscribe button. Click the little bell next to it. What that'll do is get you alerts or notifications anytime a new video is put up. That way you can get the information when you're ready for it. Okay, also, any of these videos you like, click share. It's also right down below. Send an email, a twit, or tweet, or whatever you want to your buddies, your friends, your family, loved ones, because I could touch on a subject that could mean something to them. And maybe this is a way to get them to become preppers. A lot of us say, hey, it would be nice if everyone I knew became preppers, then they wouldn't talk to me about it and imply that I should take care of them. Anyways, that's all good. So let's move on to the video. Here's an idea. Shit has hit the fan. I'm running to the woods, right? Head for the hills. That's what the war cry for oh fuck has always been. You know, and I think that's been part of our culture forever. It's been part of the West. It's certainly been part of America. Head for the hills. And everyone goes, great fucking idea. Head for the hills, right? And it spreads like wildfire. That might be a great idea, let's say, if there's a tsunami coming. Yeah, it's hard to be ready for a tsunami. Head for the hills, i.e. get above the rising tide, right? The water line. But really, let's take a look at the notion, the concept of head for the hills. Okay, let's get the camera in there. Thanks, camera guy. And oops. Okay, camera guy, get your shit together. There we are. All right, head for the hills. That great old colloquialism. Now, most non-preppers think this is a plan. They think they're fucking brilliant, right? I heard Granddad say that once. Head for the hills. Because it's not where you're at. If you're having a problem in the city and the suburbs, head for the hills. Right? Sounds great. The idea is there's not many people there. Whatever the problem or emergency is, it's not there. There's some notion or idea among men that they can survive like cavemen in the hills. All right? They think of that as a plan. Look at that. That's a fucking plan right there. Head for the hills. I'm waiting for line number 2 to come. Head for the hills because they don't have it. It doesn't exist. So they just throw whatever they have in the truck and head for the hills. I don't know if that qualifies as a plan. So let's look into this shit hits the fan plan, okay? Number 2, I'll hunt and fish. Man, I've been hunting and fishing my whole life. I know how to hunt. I know how to fish. I can build a fire. So I'm going to head to the hills. Great plan. Let's see how that works. Oh, wait. First of all, so will all the other non-preppers. So will all the other non-planners. They're going to head to the hills with that as their plan. They're going to hunt and fish for food. That is their plan. You've got everyone hunting and fishing in a given area, in the hills. Now, maybe that'll work if your hills are 100 miles outside of, I don't know, Bozeman, Montana. Pierre in the Dakotas. I can't even remember which Dakota it is. I apologize to all of you Dakotahites or Wyomingites. Maybe it's Pierre, Argentina. Fuck, I don't know. Okay. So, anyways, I'll hunt and fish. But so will all the other non-preppers. And let's say those hills are outside SeaTac. Those hills are outside of Atlanta, Georgia. Those hills are outside of Knoxville. Right? Everyone is going to the hills. Everyone is going to head for the hills. What is that going to look like? right? You and all the other non-preppers and other even preppers that say, head to the hills. That's what we'll do. We'll all meet up, right? Because there's safety in numbers. Another American colloquialism that is looked upon as true intellectual and philosophical wisdom. There's safety in numbers. Okay, imagine the shit hits the fan scenario. Grid down, economic collapse, invasion by the Russians, invasion by the aliens. It doesn't matter what it is. Head for the hills. And when we get there, we'll all meet up because there's safety in numbers. So everyone you know in Sacramento is headed for the hills. 5 million people head for the hills because there's safety in numbers. Is there really safety in numbers among other strangers? If you, let's say you go to your favorite camping spot, and so does everyone else. It's next to a lake. It's like the camping thing, right? Say Yosemite. Everyone goes, let's go to Yosemite. So people from Fresno go to Yosemite. People from Stockton, Modesto, the entire Central Valley, Sacramento. They head to their favorite spot in Yosemite. You got a massive number of strangers who plan to hunt and fish. They believe there's safety in numbers when they head for the hills. Do you see how this plan is starting to look a little suspicious? Remember, these are non-prepper, these are poorly planned ideas, right? So there's safety among strangers, people you don't know. You don't know what they have, you don't know what they don't have, you don't know what their plans are, you don't know what their ideas are, you don't know what they've got in their head, right? So you are safer heading to the hills with your plan to hunt and fish among other non-preppers, surrounded by hundreds and thousands of people who happen to be strangers, and they're armed and unprepared. Right? They don't have adequate food, they don't have adequate water, maybe adequately medicated. There's a lot of people out there require medication, and without it, they're basket cases. Okay? Among the armed and unprepared, they're untrained with their arms. They're unpracticed. That means they're not used to walking around with a weapon, carrying it, how to behave, right? And you're also among a culturally diverse bunch of people who are armed and unprepared, who are strangers to you, but there's massive numbers, and likely non-preppers because they've just decided that their plan is to head for the hills. You see where I'm going with this? Do you see what the fuck I'm talking about? And they're doing all of this, right? Under stress. Stress. They're fucking tweaked, right? They are not mentally prepared for the rigors, for the horror, the shock, the drama, the agony of defeat, all of those ABC Wild World of Sports things. This is shit hitting the fan. They're going to realize that their plan to hunt and fish among other non-preppers in huge numbers among strangers who are armed and unprepared and untrained, and there's cultural diversity. Meaning, hey, honky, you're from the suburbs of Sacramento. You're from the suburbs of Raleigh, North Carolina. You're white. Your Oxfords are going to get dirty, right? All of your clothes are brand new. You don't look like you've ever worn camouflage. Your eyes, your eyes are this fucking big because you're scared to death, right? What do you think other people are going to see, right? There's going to be brown people, yellow people, white people, red people. You're all going to have different ideas about what to do when you head for the hills based on your upbringing. There's going to be fucking hicks out there. Hicks live in the hills. Hillbillies, that's why they're called hillbillies. They live in the hills. Hicks, hillbillies, fucking rednecks. Okay, I don't even want to get into the subject of fucking white supremacists and KKK and fucking Black Panthers and the Muslim population that have their training camps out in the hills in certain areas of the country. I mean, fuck. Head for the hills? Really? That's your plan? And then you throw in all the stress, right? Because you're throwing all of this together without any preparation, without any plan. Right now you go from city population densities that are designed to handle high population density under the best of circumstances to putting a high population density in the hills with no infrastructure to support them. No real water, no real food, no real waste. Shit, it's the fan. That's a lot of shit, right? You got a lot of scared people eating food they're not used to. In a high stress environment, they're going to be shitting their pants quite literally. Okay, it is not going to be good. So let's move on to this, because that's kind of my segue into this. Okay? When this runs out, when food runs out, what is this high population density of non-preppers who have run to the hills, who are armed and unprepared, what are they going to do? Are they going to start bartering? With what? What are they going to barter with? They're going to barter for food, but from who? From other unprepared campers? Seriously, guys. How are they going to get their food? Oh, that's right, they're going to hunt and fish. You've got 10,000 people on one lake on one day who start fishing instantly. That fucking lake will be fished out in no time at all. Oh, well, then we'll hunt. The fucking decimation, right? The total absolute, let's use the word, extinction of the local animal population in the hills, right? Rabbits, squirrels, birds, coyotes, anything, man. If it flies, it dies. They're going to eat everything in a matter of days if it even takes that long. I go camping in some places and there's not an abundance of wildlife. The environment doesn't support it. There's small animal life and a few large herbivores and a few predators that have very large territories. So if a mountain lion takes 5 square miles to survive properly on a natural environment, that is, there's no agricultural support through sheep and goat and cats and dogs. If it takes like 3 to 5 square miles to keep one mountain lion alive, and if she's got cubs, right? How many human beings could live in that same 3 to 5 square miles? There's your answer right there. That is going to tell you exactly how hard it's going to be to head for the hills with your plan as a non-prepper to hunt and fish for food. You're going to run out of food. Everyone will run out of food. And those with are going to be looking down and staring into the hungry eyes of those around them who are strangers, who probably don't share cultural diversity, whatever culture or subculture that is. And they're armed and they are unprepared. They're desperate. They're scared. They're out of their element. They're desperate. And they now have no food. What the fuck do you think is going to happen? Hopefully they get in their cars and leave. But where are they going to go? To the burning cities? To their cousin Bill's house at this point? Maybe. They can try it. Will they leave, or will they think and believe that they're still in their best place when they headed for the hills? That's as good as it gets. There's going to be fucking gunfights over a can of tuna fish. Okay, when this runs out, when water runs out. If you're at a lake, you're good. If you're at a nice river, you're good. What if you're not? What if your hills are drier? What if there's really not a whole lot of water? Or a very limited water source? And what if you're not next to that water source and everyone else that is guarding and protecting it? What if they want to make a little game out of it where they charge you something to come across their land to get to the water, right? Head for the hills, because that's the plan. A lot of people, these non-preppers, they're going to start their little factions. How fucking long do you think it'll take before they start little factions to control what resources are available? I'm telling you right now, it ain't going to take long. People are resourceful, creative, selfish, greedy, and under a lot of stress. There's going to be a lot of bad behavior. Water. What if the water source that is available gets polluted by the thousands and thousands of people who don't understand sanitation and just decide that they're going to crap and piss everywhere? Water. There's going to be people getting sick from drinking unsanitized, unfiltered, unclean water. That's going to make them even more sick, and they're going to tend to pollute the water even more. Dysentery is not going to take long to set in a high population density, head for the hills scenario. When this runs out, health. I just touched on it. What happens when people's health starts to deteriorate, either from not enough medication, because there's so many people under medications they cannot live without. Health, mental health, people that start melting down and breaking down. Remember, they're armed and unprepared. They're under a lot of stress. Mental health is huge. That's why on this channel we talk about the prepared mind, so that you will be ready for this. You can train for it. You're aware of it. You have a plan for it. But all these other clowns, you're fucked if you're anywhere near them. Dysentery, food poisoning, lack of water, right? The change in diet can make people sick. If they're not used to eating food, say they eat junk food all the time and they try eating healthy. How about eating healthy and now they're eating crap? People that eat animals and don't properly prepare the meat. Bacterial infection, i.e. Botulism. I almost said syphilis. A salmonella. That's a little better. Lots of health issues when you head to the hills. And finally, all of these things add up to a lack of patience. When patience runs out, under stress, armed, among people you don't know, and lots of them who are unprepared, whose plan of head to the hills has failed. What happens then? Patience is gone. Terror. People have terrorized themselves and each other. Shit hitting the fan is not a weekend at Bernie's. It's not a weekend at the beach. It's not a camping trip. It's not the 4th of July. It is a calamitous affair with chaotic events turning one into the other. So then what? What? Right? Then what? All of this has happened. Then what? What are these fucking people who have headed to the hills? If you're one of them, what are you going to do? Then what? For real. What's next? You're going to leave? People are going to be cold, so they're going to go to their cars and start them up. They're going to use their fuel. Their fuel will be gone. Now what? What are you going to do? I'll put this to you guys. There's a lot of you guys love to comment. You leave great comments all the time. Now what? You've got 2 days, 3 days, 5 days in the hills. People are hungry, they're sick, they're tired, they're cold, they're thirsty. They're hopeless, they're helpless. What? What are they going to do? They're going to try and head back. If at best, try and head back to their cities and their homes. And they're going to tell themselves things are better now. Maybe there's going to be radio broadcasts. Everyone stay in your homes. The government will take care of you. Things are calm now. The emergency is underhand. The government's on the way. There's going to be a lot of people that hear those reports and head home. And, God willing, it will be a short-lived problem. But if it's a serious shit, it's the fan. There's going to be pervasive, ongoing problems, especially total shit it's the fan hotspots where it just goes to bedlam and chaos within minutes. We've seen that in America. We have examples of it. And if you think you're immune, I know there's a lot of smartasses in the EU who go, oh, you Americans, see how fucked up you are? Yeah, we're fucked up. We don't have Muslims running around raping people left and right in public. We don't have that here in America. I think it's because there's a high affinity for chicken. Things that taste like chicken, right? We don't put up with shit. We kill stuff. All right, so enough on that. It don't matter what area you're in, people don't seem to put up with shit that's just off the hook bad. So I don't want to hear any European bullshit on this. All right. So now what? What happens? People go back to the city. People that know they can't, they're going to turn on each other. They always do. They always have. Those with are going to be hunted by those without. They're going to be victimized by those without. There will be factions that will grow. There'll be attempts at communism. Let's put all of our stuff together and then equally divide it. And as always, those with go, I'm not fucking participating. Now you've made yourself an enemy of the majority, and people discover how rotten democracy is. Because there's no safeguards for a minority. Right? That's like asking 5 wolves and the sheep what's for dinner. And then they say, well, fuck, we don't know, but let's vote on it. And then the sheep is supposed to say, I guess I lose. That's the way it goes. So now what? After all of that happens, the food, the water, our health, patience runs out. Now you've got shit it's the fan in the hills. You've got chaos and bedlam that's been exported out of the urban areas. So head for the hills? Big question mark. Good idea? Bad idea? Head for the hills! Head for the hills! Good idea? You decide. You decide. Head to the hills or not. All right, this is John, host of the Prepared Mind channel. Please hit thumbs up. That tells YouTube, move my videos up, move all preppers' videos up, move this subject up. It's very popular. And YouTube, of course, wants to make money on their advertising. So when you give me and other preppers a thumbs up, you're telling YouTube this is a great subject. So it helps not only the prepper channels get more views, but it helps the community get better. And I gotta tell you, there is nothing wrong with everyone doing better. Everyone being more prepared. That is my goal. And also, when shit hits the fan, if more people are prepared, that means there's going to be less people relying on others and causing problems. Okay, more mental preparation means more cooperation, more understanding, more forethought, therefore better health, more food and water, more patience, more understanding, less chaos. Where's Barack on this? Where is old Barry Soetoro? He should be doing these videos, not me. Shit. All right, guys. Chance favors the prepared mind is yours. Godspeed. Semper Fi.